Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. It's been a while since I have sat down and filmed in the spare room, but I'm really excited to kick off this new year with a lot of new year content for you guys. I hope you guys have had a good new year and you guys are excited for 2024. I still can't believe it's the new year. Like, how on earth are we in a new year already? Like, I feel like 2023 just went by so fast. As you guys can see by the title, this is going to be all of my achievements and goals from 2023/2024. So obviously everyone has different years. Some people achieve a lot, some people don't. For some people 2023 might have been a really difficult year, and others 2023 may have been the best year. So I know it's very like up and down, so this is just from my personal experience on how 2023 has been for me. And also I like to set some goals in the new year just so that I have something to kind of like work towards throughout the year that is like coming up, so through 2024. So I have written everything down on my phone, so if I'm looking down at my phone and not specifically looking at the camera, then that is why. But yeah, without further ado, let's kick into this video. So all of the achievements that I have to talk about are reflecting on my video that I made last year of like all the goals that I wanted to achieve in 2023. So the first thing that I have written down is that I felt that I have grown in my relationship with God. Obviously, like, I'm never ever going to be at a point where I feel like I know everything about God, or I feel like I am at like my most in my relationship with God. Obviously it's just a consistent thing that is always going to be happening, but I feel like I have gotten a lot out of his word this past year. I also might say this year and this past year interchangeably if I forget, because January always throws me off going like this past year and this new year. So when I'm talking about the achievements, I mean 2023. So I feel like I have been able to read a lot more of God's word. I feel like I have been able to read a few more of the books of the Bible that I hadn't read through before. I read through Malachi for the first time. I read through Leviticus, Numbers and Deuteronomy, which I'd never read through. I read through Joshua, and I definitely learned a lot. Jeremiah was another one, Isaiah as well. And I feel like reading God's word is a really good way to get to know him, and about what he commands of your life, how he expects you to live, but also give you a lot of like historical context for a lot of things that will also help you to understand the Bible. I also feel like I have grown a lot in my prayer life with God, and I've also been able to do a lot of courses offered from church to be able to grow in my relationship with God. And Phil and I have been doing a Bible study weekly with a non-Christian friend of ours that we are continuing in 2024. So that has been really cool, and I'm really excited to see God continue to grow me in 2024. Also, I apologize if I sound a little bit sick. I am like recovering from a cold. I always get sick at like this time of the year, like when the seasons change. The next thing that I have achieved is that I have traveled to 2 new places around New Zealand. My goal was 3, but we did have some unexpected things happen in 2023 that meant we had to travel to other places. So the first new place that I travelled to in New Zealand was Waiheke Island. I actually went to Waiheke Island twice. The first one was for mine and Phil's 1-year wedding anniversary. We decided to go over there. And then the second time was for my best friend Rachel's 25th birthday. We booked out like an Airbnb and were there like for a weekend. So that was really fun. And then the other place that I went to that was new was right at the start of the year, and that was the Coromandel. Phil and I went to the Coromandel for New Year's last year. It was kind of just like a very spontaneous trip that we decided to go on, but I did vlog it, so if you want to watch my last year's New Year's vlog, I'll leave that down below and I'll pop it in the iCard if it's working. So I still feel like, considering everywhere else that we went, like we still travelled to places that we'd been before. Like we travelled to Wellington once, we travelled to Hawke's Bay, well I travelled to Hawke's Bay 3 times. We also went to Taranaki 3 times as well, so like it was good considering the year that we had. The next thing that I achieved in 2023 was that I finally dyed my hair blonde. So I'd been wanting to go blonde for a really long time. It's like the one color that I haven't been. I'm naturally brunette, which if you guys have been on my channel for a while you'll know that, and I've had like a few blonde highlights in my hair before, but nothing to like the extent that it is at the moment. I'm loving the blonde, and it is definitely like something that I want to continue in 2024. I just think it lightens my face a lot more, and I think it suits me a lot better than the brunette, just because I was feeling with the brunette that I was kind of like being hidden away. I feel like with being blonde it's just opened up my face. It's really light and fresh, and it's really nice for the summer as well to be like a little bit lighter. Definitely felt more confident as well being a blonde. The next thing that I have achieved is that I read over 50 books. So my goal in 2023 was to read 50 books, and I read 55, which I feel like is really good. I will do a separate video on all of the books that I have read in 2023. It won't be up yet, but stay tuned because it will be coming soon. But I am really proud of that achievement. I'm just really loving getting back into reading again. I've always been a big bookworm ever since I was a child, but I feel like when you get older life gets really busy, and so it's hard to get into like a routine with reading, but I feel like I'm in a good one now, which is really nice. The next thing that I have achieved, there's kind of like two things. They're both like financial things. I was able to close my personal credit card, which was fantastic because it had just been weighing on me for a while, and I was like, I really just don't need this. So that is gone. I'm really happy about that. The second thing that I achieved to do with finances is that I paid back the money that I owed on mine and Phil's joint credit card. Now Phil and I do have like a joint credit card. Sometimes we use it for emergencies, sometimes it's just if we're like running short on something then we'll use it. I paid back all the money that I owed on that, and I owed over $1,000 at the start of 2023, so that feels really nice to just have that off my shoulders and have that done. And then the last achievement that I have from 2023 is that I managed a team at work for the whole year. So for those of you who don't know, I was an assistant manager at the start of 2023. I had like a team of I think about 5 people, and my manager above me was a multi-site, so she was actually only ever working with me 1 day a week in our store, so it felt like I was pretty much managing everyone else that was in the team as well as like helping out her. I have since been made redundant because the store just wasn't making enough money, so we've now closed, but it was quite a big thing that was quite taxing on me throughout the year, so I'm really happy that I did it for a year and that I have those skills under my belt. So that is all for my achievements. Now we will go on to goals for 2024. So I've split them up like I did last year. So I've got 4 different categories. I've got personal, travel, growth, and financial. We'll start with personal. So the first thing that is a goal of mine for 2024 is that I really want to get a part-time job. So I am going to uni this year, so I would just like to have a part-time job along the side just to help Phil and I have a little bit of extra coming in, and also just so that I can have a different place to focus all my energy that would give me a break almost from studying. So I have applied for a couple of things at the moment and I'm just waiting to hear back. The next thing that I have is that I want to pass my law level 1. So I'm going to be studying law at uni, which I know is a big degree, and I know that it will be like my main priority for this year. As of the start of the year I am going to be doing it full time. Obviously if situations change throughout the year then I might drop to part-time, but my goal is to do it full-time. My next personal goal that I have is that I want to read 55 books. Obviously I read 55 books in 2023. That was with me kind of starting like consistently reading from probably about July. I also know that with me going to uni I will be studying a lot as well, so I feel like 55 is a realistic goal for me to be able to achieve. Obviously it would be great if I could go over that. And the last personal goal that I have is that I want to spend more time in nature. So I have set myself a goal of spending time in nature twice every fortnight, so pretty much like once a week. I've noticed that I enjoy spending a lot of time in nature. When I was in Hawke's Bay, I used to go up to Mata Peak like once a week with my dad. I really enjoyed our time there. There's just something so beautiful about being in nature. I always love going to the beach in the summertime and swimming in the water, and I just really want to make it more of a priority to do that throughout the year. I feel like in the summertime I get quite good at it, but I also want to explore a little bit more of Auckland in terms of what there is to do in nature, just to get out and about a little bit for my mental health, because I know it does wonders. So the next category we have is travel. The first thing that I've written down is that I want to travel to 2 new places within New Zealand. So due to circumstances in 2023, I couldn't travel as much as I hoped that I could. I think it will be a little bit easier this year, because obviously like I'll have my study breaks as well where Phil and I can go away and plan things. So as long as we know what those are, then we can book things in advance quite easy. Whereas with work sometimes it's hard because a lot of people take annual leave at a certain point, or especially working in retail you have like blackout periods where you can't take leave. And also being a manager last year, it was really hard for me to get time off. My manager was a multi-site, so she wasn't there like in my store a lot of the time, so the team really relied on me to be managing them, and it was really hard to be able to take a lot of leave because of that. So I think just having a little bit less pressure with work this year will help me to be able to travel more. I would really like to go down south a little bit more and explore that, and then I think I would like to go up like a little bit further north. I've been up to Whangarei, but I would like to go like a little bit further than Whangarei as well and kind of explore up there. And then the last travel goal that I have, again, was on my travel list from 2023 and it didn't quite happen, and that is that I really want to travel to Australia. Phil and I have been talking about this quite a lot. It is something that we really want to plan this year, and obviously with me having my study breaks it'll be a little bit easier, and obviously me having less responsibilities at work it'll be good as well, and then it'll be easy for Phil to work out when he needs the leave as well, because we'll just time it in with my study breaks. But my husband has family in Australia that I haven't met at all, who couldn't come to our wedding because of like COVID restrictions and border closures and things like that when we were planning our wedding. It would be really nice to like get to know his family over that side, and also just because I've never left New Zealand, so I would like to travel a little bit. I'm not like a huge person who's keen on traveling. I'm very much a homebody, but Australia is like a 4-hour flight, so I feel like it's doable, and then depending how I go there will depend on like other places that I go. So my next category that I have is growth. So the first thing that I want to achieve in 2024 is that I want to read through all of the Old Testament books that I have never read. So I've never actually read completely through the Bible. I've read like bits and pieces, but I know quite a lot of the New Testament I've read, but the Old Testament I do find it hard sometimes to read because of the language, and a lot of it is very like geographical and things like that, and so I can find it hard to process. I do have a desire to actually read through the full Bible to actually know what it says about things. The next growth thing that I have written down is I want to read 5 Christian non-fiction books. So I read quite a few in 2023. This wasn't a habit that I was in at the start of 2023, but I have got into a really good habit of reading a chapter of a Christian non-fiction book on a Sunday. The one that I'm currently reading, I'm reading a chapter every day because I'm really enjoying it and I'm getting a lot out of it. And then Phil and I do always have a Christian non-fiction book that we are reading together. So right now we are reading Gentle and Lowly by Dane Ortland, and me personally I'm reading Crazy Love by Francis Chan. Phil and I sit down every Monday night and read 1 to 2 chapters of a Christian non-fiction book. That way we're growing in our relationships with God, separate and together. There's so many on my list as well that I want to buy, but I also want to make sure that I'm reading them and I'm consuming that knowledge, whether it's about marriage, whether it's about parenting. That's definitely something I want to read a little bit more and educate myself more on this year. just because it is a plan for Phil and I, how to read the Bible and things like that, God's character. I really just want to delve deep, and reading Christian non-fiction books alongside the Bible really helps to understand things that are in the Bible as well. Obviously you do have to be careful with what ones you read, just doing a bit of research and making sure that they come from pastors who are teaching biblically sound doctrine is obviously really important as well. So the next thing that I've written down in terms of growth is that I just want to continue growing in my faith, whether that is in particular topics, growing in like my everyday life, trusting God for things, relying on him for things, not feeling like I have to have all the answers. It's definitely something that I want to grow in this coming year, well this year, 2024. The last area of growth that I want to grow in is that I want to do like a joint prayer time with my husband. So Phil and I don't really do a lot of joint prayer, and it's something that I've mentioned, but I definitely think I want to have more of a conversation with him about it, because I know that it's important for married couples to read God's word together, to pray together, and to be like reading Christian non-fiction books together. Just that way you can grow in your relationships with God together, but then again you do also need to have it separate as well, so that God can continue to use us as a couple as an example to others around us, but also so that we can just grow in our marriage, having it be a reflection of Christ and his love for the church. And the last goals that I have are financial. So first thing that I want to do is to save $500. Obviously being a uni student, this is not going to be very easy, so I just really want to focus on saving, I think, more than spending this year. I'm at a place where I just feel like I don't really need a whole lot. I'm also not interested in having a whole bunch of stuff. Having a lot of clutter at 25 makes me feel very overwhelmed. I really just want to practice being content again, and not feeling like I always have to be buying. And then the last financial goal that I have is that I want to pay back the money that I owe Phil's dad. I don't really owe him too much, but he did help me a little bit with moving up to Auckland, which I've just not been able to pay back. So I really just want to get that done and out of the way. He didn't have to help me, but he decided that he wanted to help me because it was quite a big move for me. So I'm really thankful to him for that, but I just want to prioritize paying that back so I don't have to worry about it. So there we go, guys. Those are all of my achievements and goals that I have from 2023 and for 2024. I will do a separate video for my achievements and goals on YouTube as well, and like content and stuff that will be coming. Do also want to do my like 23 things that 2023 brought me, which is kind of a bit more of an in-depth on how my year has gone, kind of from start to end. So I'm going to film that today, so get excited for that as well. I really hope you guys have enjoyed hearing about my achievements and goals. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Also let me know down below what are your goals that you may have for 2024, and let me know if you feel comfortable to share just maybe a couple of things of what 2023 brought you, some things that you achieved, or just some things that you were looking forward to in 2024. I would love to know. And make sure to check out my social media. It's always linked down below in the description box. I think that's everything, so I shall see you guys in my next video. Bye.